Hi, friends. Welcome to the Christy-Faith Show, episode 100. Can you even believe it? Because I can't. So when I was thinking about what to do for this episode, like what actually feels right in my soul, the answer actually came pretty quickly. I just wanted to hang out with my friends. That's it. No big fancy thing, just us. So today, Marni, Denise, and Jessie are here. Yay! Think of it like a girls' night out, except it's not nighttime. You're invited and we're recording it. And listen, I'm warning you ahead of time about Denise. She asked me before we started, do I have to behave myself? And I said, absolutely not. So consider yourself warned. Denise, is this going to be appropriate for children?
Of course, of course.
We are letting our hair down today. Pull up a chair, grab your coffee, grab that load of laundry that's been sitting there in the corner. You can fold it while you're listening to us and just hang out. This is going to be fun. Welcome back, everybody. I am Christy-Faith, educational expert, author, speaker, podcaster, and your host of this show that just reached 100 episodes. We're so excited. All right, let's bring in the women who are about to make me regret this. We'll go around and we will introduce ourselves. So Marni, can you start us off today?
Yeah, I'm Marni Love, homeschool mom to 3, 2 in college now. And I'm one of the mentors here. And I love working alongside the moms in this community. I've been in Christy's world for about 3 years, and I'm very excited to be on the other side of the mic today.
Denise, who are you?
Well, I'm Denise, and I am a homeschool mom to 3 adult kids, and I'm also a mentor here. I am very honored to be here on this 100th episode with Christy, and also very honored to walk alongside homeschool moms as they're trying to figure out this whole homeschooling life.
And you are so good at it. Marni and Denise are mentors in Thrive Homeschool Community. So a lot of you may know their names. A name you might not be as familiar with unless you're coming to office hours, because we talk about Jessie all the time, lovingly, by the way. Jessie was here even before any of this existed. She was actually my very first friend when I moved to Colorado, and the very first homeschool mom I ever met, because we talked on the phone before I even moved, and we joined her co-op. So she has been with me since before this podcast, before there was even a Christy-Faith thing, and before anyone even knew me as my middle name. She knows me as my last name. So she has seen it all. Jessie, would you please introduce yourself, my sweet friend?
Yes. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here with you today. My name's Jessie, and I'm a homeschool mom to 4 kids. I've been in the world for a long time homeschooling, and I think we're going on 10 years knowing each other, right, Christy?
Yeah, I believe so. Close to it, at least. Yeah. And I've talked to Marni and Denise like separately, like, aren't you so glad I've brought Jessie into our fold? Because Jessie is the type of person, actually everyone on this call is right now on this show, where when I first met them, I was like, okay, they're not going away. Like I dug my claws in, and I decided that we had to be friends no matter what. So I am so thankful that you guys are still with me on this journey and on this incredible mission that we have. So today we're going to be doing a couple different things. We're going to be talking about listener transformations. We're going to be talking about each other. I think I'm going to be interviewed as well. This will be a fun show today. So before we go into you all grilling me, and I'm scared of some of the questions because I know that's coming, but I actually want to hear from you first, Marni and Denise, and then later Jessie with something separate. You two get to walk alongside so many moms, and you get to see the wins and the breakthroughs and the moments that make all this hard work behind the scenes worth it for all of us. I would love to hear from you guys first on what are some of the major transformations or just the heartwarming epiphanies and aha moments that you've had the privilege to walk alongside some moms with.
Yeah, I think it's just so fun to be able to see mamas that come in at the very beginning of their homeschool journey. And so one mama comes to mind. She is just at the very beginning of homeschooling, and she was feeling anxious, not sure where to start, what to do. She's actually been in Thrive for about a year. But we just started a new accelerator group to go through one of Christy's amazing frameworks, a homeschool setup. And she came, even though she's been in Thrive for a year. We were kind of opening that up for new mamas. And she came to every single one. And she just felt so much more confidence after going through that. She'd been through it on her own before, but going through it with community, being able to talk with Julie and I about her questions, listening to other moms' questions, just filled her with this renewed confidence. And she's excited to start her homeschool journey now with this confidence, this peace, because she knows what it is that she's going for. She knows her why. She knows how to implement what it is that she wants for her homeschool. And just seeing that peace over her instead of that anxiety that she was feeling at the beginning has been such a gift.
I love that so much. And I think part of the why just of this show is something that I know is that moms feel more confident when they're more equipped. When we have knowledge, we have training, we know data, all of those things. And so that's kind of when I talk about this show and we share game-changing ideas for intentional parents, it's so that we can implement those things. And that is such a cool story. Denise, do you have a story?
I do. We have a lot of stories, but the one that really was on my heart to share today is from a mom who gave me permission to share her own words and also her name. Her name is Cheryl, and she's been in Thrive for at least 3 years, and her transformation has just been beautiful to be part of. Of course, I can't tell her whole story, but what I want to highlight about Cheryl today is her determination to overcome her fears, her insecurities, her doubts, her shortcomings, because we all have them, all the things that we battle. And even though she was using all the resources that Christy has created, attending master classes, receiving parent coaching with Marni, Cheryl has just been on a life-changing journey. And in addition to those things, not even though, but in addition to those things, she was also taking advantage very faithfully of office hours throughout her journey, and she still does. And office hours is the live Zooms with the mentors in Thrive. And it's a message that she sent to us after one of those Zooms that I want to share some excerpts of today. She wrote, "I just wanted to send a note to say thank you to both of you. I've been having a really rough time with my son lately, to the point that yesterday I told him I was done homeschooling and I can't do it anymore. And he better be prepared because tomorrow he's going into the public school." She said, "He broke down, I broke down, but then," and this is where you see the transformation, she continued, we talked about ways we can work together. And I asked him for his ideas of what we can both improve on and things that we can do that would help him with his wiggles, music we can put on to help his brain, etc. She said, "I knew I was going to office hours today, but I wasn't sure that I necessarily needed to ask anything. I just have so many thoughts and feelings and so much going on. I wasn't even sure how to pose a question, but listening to you mentors, your words of encouragement, and just the calmness and certainty that you helped me feel, I'm so glad I went today." Thrive isn't just a place to get concrete resources. This is what Cheryl's an example of. To get the resources that you need to create the homeschool that's the right one for your family. It's so much about community, coaching, genuine interaction with other homeschool moms and mentors. It's a place where Cheryl feels that she belongs no matter where she is on her journey. And as she goes through her days, her weeks, her months, her homeschool plan can be set exactly as she needs it to be, but life is life and storms come. And one of the things I love about this privilege of being with the Moms in Thrive is that we provide harbor in those storms. That's what office hours is harbor. Cheryl came into the harbor that day and just absorbed the peace and calm for an hour, knowing that she was safe. She was in a safe place. And her takeaway was from the exhortation of that day, where we had talked about redeeming the day. And what she realized is the day before, she had redeemed the day. She had been equipped already. And we can't prepare anybody, equip anybody in life to not have storms, but being there to help equip and walk through the storms with these moms and to provide harbor is just really high privilege. And she just really touches me the way she just doesn't give up and she perseveres because she knows that it's worth it.
And isn't she a founding member? I feel like she's a founding member.
She's a founding member, and she just became a lifetime member.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that is so cool. That is so cool. Homeschooling 4 kids means I'm juggling roughly 24 different subjects at any given time. And a few years back, during a particularly busy season, I hit a wall. I needed some serious help with the heavy lifting of teaching everything myself and managing schedules for 4 kids. That's when I found BJU Press Homeschool, and we've loved their courses so much that we keep going back. Some families use them for everything and love it. I use them for certain subjects. Either way, total mental load relief. Here's what my mornings look like now. Let us take science, for example. My 3 girls do that one together. They fire up the lesson taught by a real teacher, well-produced, actual teaching, not just click through busy work. And I sit there with my coffee, watch them, or make breakfast, and we discuss the big ideas. Every BJU Press Homeschool course prioritizes critical thinking, a biblical worldview, and hands-on learning. I just guide the conversation and pick which activity or pages or projects we want to do, and everything's already planned out. They have an online platform included for you called the Homeschool Hub, and it keeps everyone on track, both me and my kids, without micromanaging or nagging. And when I have questions, I call my homeworks consultant. These people don't just help you get set up, they're available for you whenever you need them. It's like having a homeschool expert on speed dial. Go to bjupresshomeschool.com or click the link in the show notes to find out more. People are always curious what curriculum I use for my own family. And honestly, it changes. We've tried a lot over the years. Some work for a season and some completely miss the mark. But there is one that's stuck. CTC Math. It's a full K-12 online math curriculum, and it's won oodles of awards for a reason. It's just that good. I use it for all 4 of my kids, and they couldn't be more different when it comes to math. Finding one curriculum that actually works for all of them, that's been nearly impossible. You know that pit in your stomach when you realize the curriculum that you just invested in isn't working again? Yeah, that was us until this one. The genius behind CTC Math is that it's adaptive. The questions adjust to each kid's level in real time, so they're always challenged but never crushed. And mama, it does the teaching and grading for us. Yes, you heard that right. That's a homeschool mom's dream. Well, especially for me when it comes to math. I would think it's too good to be true if I hadn't been using it myself. And it's not just me. Here's why it's become the go-to for thousands of homeschool families. Free diagnostics show you exactly where to start, access to all grade levels so your student can fill in any gaps or move ahead, short video lessons that keep your children engaged, automatic grading with instant feedback, and progress reports so you know exactly what's happening without hovering. Math used to be our hardest subject. Now my kids do it independently. Here's the best part. Our listeners get 50% off. Use the link in the show notes to do a free trial or to get that half-off deal. Don't spend another year kissing math frogs. This one stuck for us, and I have a feeling it's going to stick for you too. Well, and for those of you listening, if you're like, wow, that's a big thing for Thrive. So a lot of people think of like membership communities as like joining something to hang out with besties. We are pretty serious about this homeschooling mentorship thing here. Our entire community is based on the 6 pillars of homeschool success. And we truly train you, equip you. That's why we have Marni in the community. She's a certified parenting coach because so much of homeschooling involves healthy parenting as well and healthy attachment to your kids, problem solving, us staying calm, all of the things. And then we also equip you with your day-to-day problems, curriculum decisions, special needs, all of that. And so that's so touching. I'm going to reach out to Cheryl. That is so sweet. I wasn't expecting that today. And then
when I asked her if I could share this, her response was, OMG, absolutely yes.
Oh. And what's so cool is I've met her in person when I was at a conference. Yeah. And that was quite a few years ago. Yeah. Right after Thrive opened, I think like that spring, I was able to meet a couple of ladies who live in Texas. So awesome.
Okay, Jessie, you've known Christy the longest. So we have some questions for you, starting with what's something that Christy is secretly really bad at?
Let's see. one thing I see that she's not so good at is resting. Christy's good at everything except resting. She goes 100 miles an hour all the time.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, and Jessie, like we're at things together. So she sees what it's like to be in my real life.
Oh yeah. In the bleachers with her laptop working.
Yeah.
So cute.
I put it away when the game starts.
You do. You're so present for your kid.
You're just not wasting your time.
Exactly. Got to get every minute.
Jessie, what does Christy do when she's nervous?
Well, honestly, I've never seen Christy nervous, but
this is not true.
It is true.
I give you rambling Voxers all the time.
Well, I was going to say that maybe you get kind of quiet. Like you turn in and you pray and then you buckle down and you just get it done. So, yeah, I never
put your game face on. Well, at least you don't do what I do when I get nervous.
What do you do?
What do you do?
I fart.
This is how can you tell your body to do that?
I don't tell my body to do that. My body just does it.
Oh my goodness. You know, I get sick to my stomach though. I live in like stage fright all the time. Okay.
Jessie, what would people never guess about Christy?
Christy is a true foodie. She will not swallow things that do not taste good. And I love that. She knows what she loves.
Have I actually spit something out at your house?
No. No.
But I will spit something out if it doesn't taste good.
Yeah, I've heard you say this, and I've never witnessed it. So, but I know you love what you love, and you're particular in your taste, which is great.
Yeah. Well, and actually, Jessie's a really good cook, so it wouldn't have been one of her dishes.
Okay, Jessie, what's a moment you witnessed behind the scenes that no one else would know about?
The thought that comes to my mind is actually from when we were first in a co-op together. Christy is such a naturally gifted leader and educator that she came to me as the director and she's like, what if I give the moms some little pep talks about homeschooling and help them learn some things? And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And she did that for several weeks, I think a whole semester. And it was everyone's favorite part of the day because we mamas are there to learn and be in community together. And Christy was just such a rallying encourager and gave us lots of great information. So this comes by her naturally, I would say.
That's awesome. What do you wish Christy knew about how she's impacted people that maybe she doesn't fully see?
Well, I wonder if she knows what a lifeline she is to so many moms. Because I feel like in the homeschooling space, you can feel really isolated and alone, that you don't have other moms, or if there are people in your life, they don't have the same values and mindset. They're not homeschooling themselves, so they don't really understand. And I think Christy does a great job of just providing those points of connection for moms to not feel isolated and just encouraged and not as overwhelmed. She breaks everything down in such beautiful pieces and gives tiny bits of information so you're not overwhelmed, but you still glean so much. And I think it's hard to put into words just what you mean to all the people that you influence, Christy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jessie. And that actually means a lot coming from you, because Jessie is the one who, for all of my talks, whenever you see me speaking at a conference, she did the slides. So she's the one that makes everything that I want to say beautiful and packaged well. And I'll just like Voxer her this long rambly thing like, can you make a flow chart for, and then I'll just go on and on and on. And then all of a sudden it pops up in Canva and it's like absolutely gorgeous. And so you actually, that's a high compliment, Jessie, because you actually see my stuff that I'm creating. And also Jessie is just such a cheerleader. Like when she goes through one of my talks and makes all the slides, she's just so encouraging. Like, moms need this, or this made me cry at the end. I remember with my keynote, everyone cries at the end of my keynote. And even though I've given it so many times, I still cry at the end of my keynote. So thank you, Jessie. That is so sweet. All right. So thank you so much, Jessie. That's so sweet. I'm glad that people are getting to know you on the show today. So we also asked our community what they would want for the 100th show. And quite a few people responded that they would like to ask me questions. And so we're going to have a moment here where I'm in the hot seat. We have chosen some from our wide community, some questions that people wanted to know. So who's starting with some of these questions?
I am. Rebecca, one of our working moms in Thrive, wants to know, Christy, from you, what's your detailed homeschool/work schedule, and how do you balance it all? And how do you ensure that the independent work gets done even when you're working?
All right. So, and I've shared my schedule on some Zoom calls, but I actually have an Excel spreadsheet with 5 columns on it. And I'm on the left, it says mommy, and then each of my kids are after it. And because I work and I'm homeschooling, we have to keep to a pretty, I don't want to use the word rigid, but a pretty routine schedule. And the reason why is because my kids not only need to know when they're going to have me for a particular subject, but they also need to know when they're expected to work independently. So it's really helped my family to have that spreadsheet. And if you're curious about homeschooling schedules and what works and what doesn't work, or even want a version of my spreadsheet, I actually do have, I'll put a link in the show notes. I have a free download of sample homeschooling schedules that you guys can grab. That's always a very popular one when I put that up at conferences when we're talking about how to organize our days.
How do you make sure that the independent work gets done?
Yes. So I am not one to have the patience to tolerate negotiations with my children. And so rather than barking, I also don't want to bark orders, right? So I don't want to nag. I don't want to bark orders. And so I'm a huge believer in setting expectations and setting our kids up for everything they need to be successful. And then also just fill it with grace. So I do expect my kids that when they are working independently, that a level of work gets done. And if a level of work is not getting done, then I expect them to come to me and ask for help. So they can't just waste 45 minutes and then say like, it was at the end, say that was just too hard, mommy. I didn't get anything done today. So we kind of have some expectations and protocols for, I also am present, even if they're doing independent work. So what comes to mind is, my youngest child, who's about to be 10, her English language arts is somewhat independent, and she watches a video and then does some workbook pages and things like that. And so in the beginning of the year, she needed me. It was a brand new curriculum. I hadn't put her on this before, and I couldn't work at all. Like I couldn't even check emails during it. We had to be there together. And then as the year kind of progressed, she really started to know what to do, know where to click, what buttons to push, how to do a work text page, how to find the pages and all of that. And so we're now at the point where I can't do deep work. I can't do writing then with her when she's during that hour where we're together every day for her English language arts and literature. But I can definitely check emails. I can do kind of light work where I can stop at any moment because she is the priority in that time, but she doesn't need me hovering over her. And so I think that it's kind of a combination of my kids being able to visually see their schedule every day, what they're supposed to be doing when. In the beginning of the year, really setting them up like, mommy wants you to be able to find your own pages. Mommy wants you to be able to start a lesson yourself. And even if it takes me a week for them to figure out how to push the buttons on the iPad to get to the portal they need to, I take that time because I know that I'm going to thank my future self. And then I do a lot of rewarding verbally and a lot of praise for being capable. I could use the word independent. I generally don't want to use the word. I'm not a word police, okay? But I used to use the word independent a lot. But I don't want to praise my kids for being independent of me, because actually a healthy attachment to me, an age-appropriate healthy attachment to me, is what we want even through the teen years. It looks different. So I started praising my kids. Wow, look how capable you are. Look what you were able to do. And I praise them not for right answers, not for getting something done fast, not for how many books you read this week. I praise them for those efforts that I want to see more of. So I praise them. Wow, you're so capable. Look, you found that page number all by yourself. Oh my goodness, did you learn that all by yourself today? How did you do that? And then I have them tell me back, like, almost their own pedagogy of what they did so that they could verbalize it and then repeat and do it again. But you guys have to remember, I have been in education. I have been getting kids to do things independently. Like, that was my job at my center. So, but we do a lot of this coaching in our community, because one thing that I see happens with homeschooling moms is we have this vision that we're the classroom teacher and we need to be standing in front of a whiteboard till 3 p.m. every day. And I actually did a whole master class on this called like fostering independence in your homeschool. That's not serving you well in terms of you having a healthy relationship to your homeschooling life and yourself. It's also not serving your kids when we are not equipping them to work independently, and it does mean that you have to allow them and be prepared for and be excited about when they fail, because that's part of this whole thing. So I could go on and on. That could be a whole show. So I'll stop there. Hopefully that was a good enough answer to the question.
It was a great answer, and kind of along those lines of having all of that on your schedule with all that you do. Grace would like to know, when do you get you time?
Is your child struggling with attention, memory, reading, writing, or math? If you're experiencing this, you know how heart-wrenching it is to watch them face these hurdles. You've poured love, time, and attention into their education, yet the struggle persists, leaving you feeling stuck and desperately searching for answers. You guys, I want you to know about Learning RX, a proven program designed to help your child's cognitive skills, enabling them to think faster, learn more easily, and perform at their best. I'm talking getting real long-term help here with things like ADHD and dyslexia. Learning RX is backed by 35 years of research, and their results are transformative. Use code HOME50 for $50 off your cognitive skills assessment. Go to learningrx.com or click the link in the show notes. Think homeschooling means doing it all yourself? Let me stop you right there. If you're looking for a partner you can trust, one I trust with my own kids, check out True North Homeschool Academy. They're Cognia accredited and offer live online classes and flexible self-paced options for grades 6 through 12. Your teen can pursue a dual degree track or a tech and trades diploma, all with teachers who share your family values. Small classes, college-ready rigor, real-world skills, and it all fits your schedule in a faith-friendly environment. Ready to learn more? Head to truenorthhomeschool.academy or click the link in the show notes to explore courses and get started today. I schedule it, and I have it in the schedule. So I go down to my reformer in the mornings, and my kids know that I'm going to be gone for 45 minutes on my Pilates reformer, and they know when I'm going to be back. And I think kind of the secret to, at least what I've discovered the hard way, I want to hear from you guys, is that having that visual schedule and making those announcements, what it does is it makes kids feel more secure, because they know, and it causes less interruptions because they know when I'm going to be available again. And I really, really try to keep my word with it. So when that schedule says mommy is totally available for them, I really, really am. So that's the thing, is it's so easy to like, you're checking emails and then you get this big email and you bleed into, when you're a working homeschool mom, it kind of bleeds into the time where you're supposed to be doing a lesson. That happens more often than I want to admit. But I think that the key to happy, healthy, well-structured, functioning homeschools really running at a clip is having your kids on a pretty regular routine where they know what is expected of them at any given time in the day. And Scott and I even talk about vacation times are really hard for us. We're filming this right now, right before we're supposed to start 2 weeks off for Christmas. And it's going to be mayhem. And it's not, they're really great at playing amongst themselves and with the neighborhood kids and all of that. But what tends to fall along the sidelines is, okay, they're out playing and then no one did their chores, right? Because chores are typically attached to, we keep our chores kind of in our schedule. And so what I'm going to do this Christmas, because I really want an enjoyable, beautiful time together, I also want we will all be happier if we have an orderly and not really messy home for these next 2 weeks, is I'm challenging myself tomorrow as I'm going to make like a vacation schedule so that we still have a schedule and there's still times. Okay, the kitchen needs to be cleaned by 2:00, right? And so, yeah, that's kind of, what do you guys do? Jessie, what do you do?
I don't take care of myself. Just kidding.
I know for a fact you do.
Well, I have quite a range of ages.
Yes.
So I have a 4-year-old who still really needs me a lot. And what I've started to do is just incorporate him into the time. Like, I like to work out in the morning. And I set him up with his little kids-friendly exercise video to be right next to me when I'm doing my exercise. And it's become a really anchoring point to our day, which is lovely. And I love to read, so I'll just have them all sit on the couch with me at the same time. And I'll just say, it's reading time. You have to do something quiet, not on a screen. And it just, yeah, I guess I've found a way to integrate them into the self-care that I thrive in. So
yeah. And Jessie, name your ages, because I think it'll encourage moms, because you are in that high school taxi driver all the way down to an emergent reader. Yeah. So name all your ages.
Yeah. So I have 16, 14, 10, and 4. And I have the whole range. My 16-year-old thankfully is driving now, but I'm finding myself missing the taxi driver stage because I don't get as much one-on-one conversation time with him anymore. That just comes later, at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Ready to talk.
The worst.
Yes.
That's the worst.
Oh my gosh. It's a whole new adjustment. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moms in the comments, if you're homeschooling teenagers right now, or you have teenagers, can you just commiserate with us, where Scott and I are totally winding down? I'm off my screen. I don't want the blue light anymore. I'm trying to read, calm down. And then Lincoln pops in and he asks like this big abstract question, pondering life. And we just sit up and that's the time he needs.
Yep.
Which, yeah.
It's fun.
That's also when they choose to dump a really big thing that's been sitting on their hearts.
Yeah.
So then you have to dig way down inside where you're like, I'm spent. I already clocked out.
Right.
But it's important. It's important and it's worth it.
Yeah. And then the interesting thing about our house is that Lincoln loves to go into the sisters' rooms right as we're all like brushing our teeth and getting our pajamas on. And he just makes them laugh and makes them giggle. He becomes like the court jester. And what's hard is we're trying to wind down, but he's so busy during the days, and he has quite a workload himself. He's playing sports, he's in high school coursework. And so Scott and I, we love that time of him connecting with his sisters and giggling, but we're like, go to bed. Like jumping from the bunk bed onto the big chair and just all sorts of crazy stuff. And he has them all in stitches and all riled up before bed. It's like, it's these moments we're going to miss these, right? What annoys us right now, we're going to, like, I was thinking the other day, when was the last Lego I stepped on? And I got sad. Like, I haven't stepped on a Lego in years. Remember stepping on Legos and just being, put away the Legos because it hurts so bad. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm waiting for that moment when my house actually stays pretty clean because there aren't toys everywhere. But,
Jessie, your house is always clean.
Oh, you're so cute. I clean up before you come over.
I love being in Jessie's house. I'm sure you can imagine. It just feels like a hug because I'm so loved unconditionally there. And she makes me, what was that last one that you made me? Espresso? You made me a cappuccino. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Coffee's always good.
That's
all right.
so
What's
great.
our next question?
Ooh, well, Julie would like to know, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So I knew right away, and it never changed. I was going to be a historian. It's all I ever wanted to be. So it was never even I never had a moment in college, like where I changed majors, nothing like that. And then I knew that I had to go to graduate school. The challenge was whether I was going to get my PhD or not in history. But I'm glad that I have a master's degree in history, and I'm glad I was looking at PhD programs. The graduate school that I went to didn't have a PhD program. So I was kind of thinking about applying other places and seeing what scholarship money that I could get, because Scott and I couldn't rub two pennies together at the time. We were already married. But what happened is during graduate school, to make ends meet, Scott and I were already married. We got married when we were 22. I got a job teaching history and English language arts at a school as a teacher while I was pursuing my graduate degree. And I really loved teaching. And so I think that was just God's providence on my life that I didn't get into a really big fat PhD program, because that would not have been a fit for me. So when I did graduate, for a hot minute, I got a job as an adjunct professor to freshmen. And it really opened my eyes to what teaching at the college level in higher education is like. And it was really sad to me because they didn't really care about the education per se or about the students. They cared about their department's reputation and what professors were going to publish and what they were going to publish and what you were constantly working on. And I realized that that's kind of everywhere when I started asking around. And so unfortunately, I was in one of those positions because my parents didn't know better. My dad is an engineer. My mom was a nurse. So they didn't know how to raise a girl who loved the humanities. But one thing that I really love about homeschooling, especially homeschooling kids who are in high school, is that we have the time to give them the opportunities to try things and really learn have internships and volunteer places where they are considering going into that job. Because I did have a hot minute there where I was like, wait a minute, I just went through an entire graduate program to realize I don't want to do this. And that is what happened. But, I didn't know that this was going to happen. And having all of those research skills and all of that, it helps me now. It helped me when we had our educational center, and it helps me now. I am really picky with writing and other people's writing when it comes to responsible historical research. There are some books in the homeschool space where I think to myself, you were really irresponsible with this history. So we don't need to name names, but yeah, we can. Just kidding.
Not for free.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a long answer for that.
So great. What?
There is a chapter in my book on the history of the public school system.
Yeah.
And it was very Charlotte Mason inspired. I tried to write it like a living history. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I did a good job on that. I don't know. But that was fun. It was fun to write the history of compulsory schooling in America in a way that felt living and not boring.
Yeah.
So still be historically accurate.
You're right. I'm curious, did you have like a history teacher or something that's a book that sparked your interest in history that you can recall?
So no, I just always found history fascinating. I think it kind of goes to, I've always been very pensive. So when I would learn history, I would always think, why did they do that? Like what situation were they in that they made that decision? I'm an INFJ on the Myers-Briggs, in case you're wondering, which is a very like pensive, melancholy personality type. And I just always loved historical movies. I would sit and watch those Burns documentaries in my free time. And I just always loved it. And then when I got to college, there was the head of the history department. I went to Biola University, and the head of the history department for years and years and years was this amazing, amazing gentleman named Dr. Boos. And I received a public school education. I remember this. He was just so gentle with me and so kind, but yet really expected a lot of me. And even though I got really great grades in high school, right? Honor roll, all of that, I was a perfectionist. I actually graduated high school not knowing how to write. And right away as a freshman, I was one of the poorest writers in my freshman class in his department. And he wrote on a paper once like, hey, come see me. He bled on one of my very first papers and said like, come see me. And he basically gave me, just verbally walking through my papers, he taught me how to write academically. I really cherish that time that I had with him. And he was he came to my wedding. We exchanged Christmas cards for over a decade after I left. So he was kind of the first educator who cared, who really, maybe even I felt like he saw potential in me rather than expectation. But he wasn't easy on me. Like literally every single time a subject didn't agree with a verb, he just bled. I mean, he bled on my papers, and then I would go back, and I think he also invested in me because I invested too. And so I really tried to implement what he gave me. Now, back at the time, I was still a perfectionist, so I was motivated by grades. I did not want to see a C on a paper. And I just worked really, really hard for him. Yeah. And so, yeah, don't we all want to be the type of educator that our kids we're so inspiring that our kids want to work really hard for us. Yeah.
Yeah. And to see the potential in them, to invest in them and call that out. Like they can have that every day with you as a homeschooling mom instead of just one professor. Cool.
And teaching them to see it in themselves.
So Julie would like to know, what is your favorite, like no exchange of money form of self-care?
So I would say, well, it costs a little bit of money. I can't think of something that costs no money. Because even, working on a puzzle, that puzzle cost me $13. But I will say that what I've noticed a distinction in my life of when I am learning something new and challenging myself and my ideas and when I'm not. So what I would say is that probably my favorite form of self-care and like nourishing my soul is reading nonfiction. And it can be any type of nonfiction. I love nonfiction. So whether that's reading the latest parenting book that just came out or something about a business book, we talk about these books a lot in Thrive. Like we want every mom to be reading, Atomic Habits. And I have a couple favorites. I really like Deep Work. And things like that. But I've noticed in my own life that I'm not doing well if I'm not challenged in my ideas or reframing things or thinking about something differently. And a great way to do that is through nonfiction. I'm also a very fast reader. So I don't love nonfiction on audio. And because I've always been a nonfiction writer, I know the structure of nonfiction. So I like to skip paragraphs like, oh yeah, here's where they're opening the chapter with a story. And sometimes I'll stop and slow down and read them. But I like to just like devour. I would say that I aggressively devour nonfiction. I love it. I read, like I'll go through a good one. I'll go through in 2 days. Yeah.
So you're saying your favorite free time activity is aggressive.
Is this going back to Jessie's idea of resting?
Yep.
I kind of have, don't you guys think I have a little bit of an aggressive personality?
Yes, in the sense that you're talking.
Yeah.
That you aggressively go after what you need to go after, what interests you, what you care about. So of course your downtime you would be nurtured by aggressively going after what nurtures you. It's just funny to put that word in those two words together. Self-care, aggressive.
I would say you're a go-getter. That's what I would say. Instead of aggressive, I'd say you're a go-getter.
Now I'm going to put you at the next level up. We're going to go with aggressive. I'm going to disagree with the others.
Okay, wait, and let me add to that really quick, because also this is free. This is actually totally free. Something I love to do is dream. I love to dream. And so often a nonfiction will put me in that space. So, for example, believe it or not, I got ahead on work this week because I'm heading into vacation. So I'm trying to slow down and I got ahead, and I actually paused and I was like, wait, Scott's not going to be home for an hour. We don't have to start making dinner for an hour. I'm going to dream. Mm-hmm. And so I actually got two of my next book ideas last night. They just came like, and then Scott walks in the door an hour later and I'm crying. And I said, I think I have the next book, right? And then he just smiled because he knows me so well, and he knows that's a good day. Like if I got to dream and grow.
And I want to clarify, when I say I go with aggressive, I don't see that as a negative. I just see that as like a very intentional and deep-seated pursuit of something.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which I see in you, and I admire that in you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have a question for you guys, because this might help me in how I present myself publicly. I try to think I'm warm. I try to be warm and encouraging, but I get a lot of feedback that I'm intimidating. Jessie, am I intimidating? You know me really well, like and Denise, you spent time with me at a conference. Mm-hmm. It's not something I actually want to be, unless it's a narcissist, and then I'm really pleased that they want nothing to do with me.
I think what I see is you don't really love the surface level, and you'd rather have a real conversation and real connection. And when you first meet people, that's not what they are always looking for. You know what I mean? So I agree. See that as being perceived as cold. Just because you're like, let's get into the real things that matter here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree, and I get that a lot too, that I'm intimidating. And I really struggled with that because I don't want to be intimidating, and I don't get it from everybody. But a friend who had climbed the ladder at a major corporation from entry level administrative assistant to vice president, one of their vice presidents. She said, I get that a lot too. And what I've learned is the people who say that to me are usually just intimidated people. Or they come from a place of being intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
And that was helpful to me. And that doesn't let me off the hook to not try to pay attention and be softer sometimes if I'm picking up on that from someone. But see, that's also in your INFJ personality. Cut the fluff. Let's go down to what really matters, because that's what we connect with. That's where we want to spend our time, and that's what we want to invest in. I don't care what the weather is today. I don't care. Right. But everybody starts with the weather, and there's 7 steps, I think, and you have to go down, and INFJs come in at like step 4 or 5. We don't like the top ones. And so I don't find you intimidating, but I can see how some people would, because they like to start with the fluff, like Jessie's saying, right?
Well, and I think that's something to work on for me, honestly, because I think that's part of the natural exchange that is that way. But also that's why I chose you guys for Thrive too, to be mentors in there, because I have to remind myself for that empathy piece. I have to remind myself, because I want to go right into like, they asked me some advice. I want to go right into the advice. And what you and Marni are so good at is you're like, no, let's stop and let's just acknowledge that this is hard for a second, right? And that doesn't come as naturally to me as it does for the two of you, which I love, like the balance that we have in Thrive. But Marni, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, I think what people see with Christy-Faith is different than what they see with Christy. So I think like your public persona, right? Like that's different than if you're in Thrive. Like if you're in Thrive, no mama feels intimidated by you. They feel nurtured. They feel encouraged. They feel their confidence grow. But I think it's just a difference between like, if you're going to be speaking somewhere, if you're, on social media, whatever, it's different than like when we went and had lunch together. Like that's just a conversation. And that's what you bring to Thrive. So I think what people get in Thrive is different than what maybe they're experiencing in the other spaces.
Yeah. And I think it's just different because especially when you're out there making social media content, those parts of you, at least for me, they are authentically real, but you can't always balance out your real self on social media. You have 15 seconds and you have to catch people's attention and stop the scroll. So you're really limited. It's why I did that, the series that we just wrapped up, the 6-part series that's a little bit more transparent, because I was like, social media, I felt like was like shackling me, right? From the freedom for moms to actually know who I am, what this is like, that our lives are really the same. We struggle with the same things. We hurt the same way. And so that was a very clarifying series. I'm glad that I did it. I'll probably lead people there in the future. Like maybe if a new follower comes into the fold, I'll like send them maybe that series. I don't know. I'd love your opinion, listeners. Like, did you like that series? And would that be something good if like someone is new to in my ecosystem? Should I send them links to those shows to get to know me? Or I would love your input, listeners. Okay. So that was a little bit of a tangent. What's next on our agenda here?
All right, Christy, we're going to throw you some curveballs right now. Are you ready? Scared. Okay. So you talk about Scott a lot on your podcast and just in general. And so I know I'm curious. I know some Thrive moms ask this too. How do you nurture your marriage and your relationship while homeschooling and working and all the things?
Okay. Oh my goodness. So I married the best guy on the planet. I completely hit the jackpot with this guy. So the unique thing about me and Scott is that, and maybe this is our downside too, is that we both love entrepreneurship. We both love building businesses. And so our happiest years were when we shared jobs. And so we like working that way. So we both work out of the home, and we're, when the kids have a math question, they ask him, and we just enjoy doing life together. And we have a lot of time together in the day. Like we can even just say like, hey, let's ditch the kids and go out to First Watch for breakfast and just do that. Or we can, our kids are now old enough where we can leave them alone. We have a 14-year-old babysitter in the house. So we can do that type of a thing. When the kids were little, because the physical and mental load was just so heavy, we actually had to like schedule a date night, have that time. My mom came over, watched the kids so that Scott and I could have time together, because it was just such exhausting work. Because you got to remember, so it was Lincoln, we had 4 kids, 5 and under. So there's a big gap between Lincoln and the twins, but then there's only an 18-month gap between the twins and my youngest. So it was kind of like having triplets there for a while. So that was hard, where we really had to carve it out. But here's what's crazy is like Scott and I have the same interests. So we love talking about the same things. It's very easy. And I don't know if it's probably typical of a lot of marriages where it's just I'll just say, I miss you, or I'll say, I'm not feeling connected to you today. And then we'll just figure that out. Like he'll say, okay, let's go out to dinner, or let's go on a walk or whatever. But we also do have a lot of together time in our day to day, because he doesn't leave the house to work and neither do I. So I definitely consider that a privilege, where I don't feel the pressure that if I don't schedule a date night with my husband, I'll never see him. We don't face that. Now, we did have years like that, because if you recall, Jessie, when we first moved to Colorado, we didn't sell our company for, I think, 2 years in, and Scott traveled every week. And so back then, Lincoln was 5, the twins were 2, my youngest was 7 months at the time, and Scott traveled during the week. And so we had to be really intentional back then. And I just think it's hard. And I think that for a mom listening who's really struggling and she's feeling disconnected with her husband, I think, you just do what you need to do in that season to feel connected. And sometimes I'll notice, like, if I just get like miffed or annoyed at things in life, I'll just realize it's because I haven't really connected with Scott. He's been such a source, because we got married at 22. I will say that we have been a part of each other's trauma healing journey from our childhoods. We've grown together, and we've been such a healing part in each other's lives that he really is a refuge and a safe place for me. And I hope I'm that for him, but that's it. I think we do I don't know. Do you think that's unique, or does that what a normal, like, healthy marriage looks like? I often wonder, because we're both entrepreneurs and business owners and go-getters, and we're, I often wonder, like, is this the experience that other people have too? Is it?
I don't think it's the norm.
I think you guys have.
I don't think it's the norm to do life together all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Most people don't get to do that. They probably could as a couple, but they don't have that. That's kind of a gift, right? Especially when you're so compatible, to be able to just do life together all day, every day.
And Denise, this is why I have you in the community, because of what happened with your story and your ex-husband. And, people have brought it up, like, hey, would you guys ever do like marriage speaking? And honestly, I don't feel qualified, because, and they kindly pushed back on me with that. They're like, actually rethink that. But Scott and I haven't had a like rocky spot in 26 years. We just had our 26th wedding anniversary. And I know that's really special, and that's a blessing. I consider that, like, I thank God every day. Like, this was your like anointing, Lord. Like, this is not, I know that part's not typical, where, couples are like forced into marriage counseling because they're about to break up, or there's like bouts of being separated and things like that. We've never, I just love the guy and he loves me. And he, you know, in college, I was kind of known a little bit, and this is not true because I'm not that, because I actually know the definition of it, but I was kind of known as like, oh, that Christy, she's like the feminist of the school in college. I am not a feminist. I know the waves of feminism. I am pretty familiar with biblical manhood and womanhood. I am not a feminist, but I also don't believe in the patriarchy. So let's leave that there for now. But what was really cute is that Scott always, that would make him smirk. Like even what people would like insult me about, he was always like, he found it adorable, you know? So he finds these things about me adorable. He's so cute. He's just so great. And a lot of people don't know, I'm 3 inches taller than my husband. And so talk about like confidence as a dude, like walking up in college. And I remember he blew away my friends. We were all sitting at one of those 12-seater tables in the cafeteria at Biola University. And he literally grabs his tray, turns around, walks across the room to our table of 12. So 12 seats. There weren't 12 girls there. I forget how many girls were there, but pretty full and intimidating. He walks up next to me and he goes, "May I have a seat? Can I eat with you?" And I was like, "Sure." And he sits down, the only guy at the table. And oh my goodness, my girlfriends were like, oh, like, you better believe this is what we talked about for 3 days afterwards. Like, can you believe that? You know, he was the transfer student. He transferred in as a sophomore. And he was like the transfer student on campus like that year. Anyway, there's no one like him. There's no one like him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I love the guy. Mm-hmm. And he feeds me when I'm angry.
He does.
Yeah.
It's a big mission.
Yeah. And when I'm on my cycle, men, close your ears, listen to it. When I'm on my cycle, he'll say that I know the feelings are real. He just acknowledges my feelings.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet.
He's a good one.
Oh gosh. Well, I have a more corny question for you. I want to know, what's the weirdest food combo that you actually enjoy?
Okay. I don't think I enjoy weird food combos.
Really? Because mine used to be, before I became dairy intolerant, potato chips, dill pickle, and sour cream all together.
I honestly do not have a weird.
You don't eat weird stuff together?
I don't. You know where you see on TikTok where they're like this magical combination, you got to try it? Mm-hmm. I don't. No. Like even on my Chick-fil-A, I'm putting Polynesian sauce and mayonnaise. I'm not doing anything.
You're just a straight up foodie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try.
Okay,
but here's the thing. I will try anything. Like I love a lavender in my coffee, or I'll try any of that stuff. I can't eat sushi. I love sushi. But my nutritional therapist, because I had this whole gut healing journey, she had a heart-to-heart with me and Scott, and she goes, "You cannot eat raw fish anymore. I am so sorry, but you cannot eat raw fish." Now, I know the comment section is probably going to like explode. Like, you can. It's a choice we've made. Like when we do sushi, we're getting it cooked because we had a very long battle with parasites. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's still a thing. She told us that, let's see, when our healing journey was ending, like gut healing, about, I don't know, maybe that was like 4 years ago that we were going through that. But I have not eaten a bite of sushi since, and my life is not better. I love sushi.
Life is not better.
What's a small, everyday thing that's bringing you an unreasonable amount of joy?
Black coffee, puzzling. And I love, this will be the last one I mention. I love when I say, "Hey kids, I'm going to King's real fast." King Supers is our grocery store. It's like a Ralph's. I go, "I'm going to King's. Who wants to come?" And then they just want to come along. Just come along. And I love just walking through the grocery store with one of my kids, not more than one, just one. And then I can spoil them and buy them a Poppy or let them pick a chocolate. And so that's just a small, I love it. I love time spent. You know what I love too? Oh, okay. I'm going longer than I wanted to. I love it when they're upset. This is terrible. I love it when they're upset and they come to me for help, support, and problem solving. And they these are my little girl, and they just crash into me. I'm dysregulated, mommy. I need help. Or one of the twins, she's really good at saying, I'm overwhelmed and I need help problem solving. And she'll just come in just crying and upset. And I don't know, is that codependent? I love it. I love it. Yeah, call it codependent. I'll go to therapy. Call me whatever you want. But it's just sweet that they come to me for help.
Yeah. They feel safe and connected, and you've equipped them with words to express it. So that's awesome.
Okay, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done that we're allowed to talk about here?
Gossip. Yeah, there's times in my life, like maybe 1 or 2 times where I was like caught. Or the person found out that I gossiped about them. I carry so much shame and regret. Gossip. That's
a powerful one. That's a good one. Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears for a second here. We're going to do a rapid fire round of quick questions where I am supposed to give short answers with no overthinking. That's going to be a challenge. Christy, don't ruminate. Okay. I'll try not to.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Who's up first?
I'll start. What is your current coffee order?
Black.
Yeah. And your favorite fiction book of this year?
Anything by Abby Jimenez. That's my twaddle. I love it. It's like not dirty romance. It's so cute. It's like not as cheesy as a Hallmark movie, but still cheesy enough where you can just get lost.
Guilty pleasure TV show?
All day long, every day, all day for the last 10 years, Call the Midwife. I will watch it. I will rewatch it. I will start from show 1, go all the way through how many seasons are they at now? 12, 13. And I will watch every show. There's something soothing about women screaming in labor. I don't know, but it's like this balance of, I love Call the Midwife. I love it. Yeah. You guys watch that?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to hear women screaming in labor.
I almost cry in every episode of that show. Anyway.
Yes. I cry. Yes. I'll be on an airplane crying, and Lincoln, because he travels with us for conferences, he'll look over and he'll know exactly what I'm watching on the iPad. He's like, there she goes again.
That's great.
Well, that makes sense though, because you love a good sad book. You want the ending to be sad.
I love it. I love a sad ending.
Oh, I hate it. But good for you.
Okay. Best purchase under $50 this year?
Okay. Well, it was one of the things I gave you guys this year for Christmas. One of the items. Those beautiful gold rechargeable lamps. I move those all over the house. I bring it to my puzzle. I'll put it on my island with food to make it a pretty presentation for guests. My girls will take them and put them in their forts as lights. Aww. They are we're now in a routine where I think Lincoln, because he shuts down all the lights before bed, he just plugs them in and charges them every night. And they're pretty. Aren't they pretty?
They're so pretty.
Yeah. And the brass matches everything. Yeah. Should we put a link in the show notes to those lamps? They are so pretty. And they were around $50 for the set. Pretty good.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. If you weren't homeschooling, what would you be doing?
Okay. So I cannot imagine a life where I'm not homeschooling. That's really, really hard to imagine. I think that I would be less healed. I think that homeschooling has made me a better mother, a better wife, a better person. I I don't want anyone to take that wrong. I think you can grow, heal, all the things and have any educational choice for your kids. But I think it's just my personality of like loving to grow combined with homeschooling. So then I figure out how to grow in the homeschooling. It's just a natural thing. So, but I think I'd probably be, if my kids would definitely be probably in a classical private school if I wasn't homeschooling. And then I'd be, rolling my eyes half the time with them there. I would be volunteering, probably running like women's Bible studies, I would think is what I would be doing. I would be vacationing more. Yeah, maybe I'd be caught up in my kids' school drama a little bit more. I have that luxury that I overhear conversations, and there's a lot of angst I've noticed, like with kids socially or with their teacher that year or with classes or with a grade in school or something. And I think that I'd be a lot more caught up trying to problem solve those things that I felt like I couldn't control. So, yeah. I'd be leading things, volunteering. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think you'd be writing books?
I don't know. I don't.
You don't see that? Mm-hmm.
Favorite nonfiction book this year?
Favorite nonfiction book this year, for sure. Yeah. Soul Care by Deborah Filetta. Is that how you say her last name? Soul Care by Deborah Filetta. And I was told, I was a guest on someone else's podcast, and after we stopped filming, she was just sharing her own personal journey, and she had shared how she had almost reached burnout and that book saved her. And she loved it. And she was just like almost in tears telling me all about her transformation. And so, I'm like ordering it while she's talking. And I devoured it in 2 days. It's a really good book. Really, really sweet, kind, gentle, but smart. Smart book. I think it really hits at the modern Christian. It's a Christian book. So it really hits at the issues that we are having as modern Christian women.
Mm-hmm. Unpopular homeschool opinion.
Unpopular homeschool opinion. Besides people thinking you need a lesson plan, which you don't. In fact, that's the first thing we tell moms not to do in Thrive. But you know what I think is unpopular? That you need a fancy planner. Yeah, I would say that you need. I don't know what I wrote in my notes. I'm forgetting. Let me look at.
I know one of your unpopular homeschool opinions.
Well, I don't want to say a repeat one. Maybe the planner piece.
What is your biggest epiphany this year? Homeschool or life?
Okay. So it's both. So I was thinking about this yesterday with a guest that I had on my podcast. I think that the biggest thing that I've learned this year, or my biggest epiphany, is that we all struggle. What our real struggle is, all of us, is unworthiness. And how we don't even realize how it trickles into our everyday life and everyday decisions. And it's recent, my discovery of this, like within the last 6 months or so. It's even changed like my messaging, which you guys have seen with how I talk about Thrive, and how one of our biggest challenges with Thrive is the mom realizing that she's worthy to learn how to homeschool well, and that this is the most important job in the world. You wouldn't, on Friday decide you want to be a surgeon, and then on Monday you're handed patients and tools and then be like, okay, go and do it perfectly. But for some reason, we do that with homeschooling. We expect that of ourselves right out of the gate, or we mistakenly think that the answer to homeschooling well is in an outside answer. Like, I just need to find the right curriculum. So then you get into that curriculum jumping trap where the real work and the real change is within you. Out of this realization of the worthiness is what came the solidification of the 6 pillars of homeschool success. And you guys have kind of watched all of this evolve. They were always there, but they weren't actually put in that framework before, so that we can talk about what it means to be a confident, capable, joy-filled, peaceful homeschooler, and the answer is mom, or the primary homeschooler. It could be dad, it can be somebody else, but the primary educator, and so we just give and give and give to our kids, and we don't realize that we're exhausting ourselves giving to everybody else and trying to give everybody else what they need. And I almost want to avoid the word self-care with it, because it's not self-care. It's actually not feeling worthy to equip yourself so that you can do the job well. You almost think that it's not you that's going to do the job well. Like, it's so deep. It's so deep, our feeling of unworthiness. And it's even the battle that in my transparency series that I just did, those 6 episodes, that's even that battle of like, where is my identity? And as a content creator, that battle, and an author and all of that, who from the outside, it looks like there's been a lot of success, but it's very empty. And why? Because as long as I am chasing those things, they're empty. I will never, if my identity is in those, I'm basically just ensuring that I live a miserable life, right? Ultimately. So that's like a super deep answer. But I even had a guest on the show. We filmed it yesterday. I don't know when it's going to air, but it's on like sports psychology, like how to raise healthy sports kids. And sure enough, like we went there at the end. Like, parents are so obsessive over their kids' sports performance, ultimately because of their unworthiness. Like, because why do you care so much about how your kids perform? Like, I hate to say it, but it's kind of more about you than the kid, right? And then what does that do to your kid? So anyway, that's kind of the biggest epiphany that I've had. I didn't realize it went that deep in terms of homeschooling well and what it really takes.
Doesn't surprise me though, because what you've built in Thrive helps moms to feel confident and worthy. So it makes sense to me. What is the most underrated thing in the homeschool world?
Well, besides what I just said, moms equipping themselves to do it well, I don't think there's enough conversation around it. I think that the homeschool world wants to make homeschooling like, oh, it's so easy, just do it. Your kid's going to be better off. You just fumble your way through. Don't worry, you'll figure it all out. And none of us want that. None of us feel comfortable in that space. That's why we homeschool with so much angst. So like the deep answer is that, but like a little silly answer is like if I was to pick an item, it would be one of those little time timers. Like in my early years, I had 5 of those around the house, and where they could see the time dwindle, and they knew exactly how much time they had. My high schooler still uses those. Like, he does a certain amount of time with math. He likes to visually see it, because when you have your timer on your phone goes dark or you don't see it. And then you're constantly tapping your phone to see how much time you have left. When you just have one of those basic visual timers, it's a game changer. I think it's just one of those easy fixes. Like, just give me your best for the next 5 minutes, kiddo. Let's do this. And let's give a high five after. If you have to start at 5 minutes, 2 minutes. There's moms we coach where their kid cannot work independently at all. And we say, literally 1 minute. If you can walk outside the room and they just did one little thing by themselves, and you walk in and you praise them for it, that's going to grow. It will stretch. It will grow. I just love those time timers. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is one of the biggest game changers in making homeschool mom life easier?
Structure. Now I convicted myself with, this is supposed to be rapid fire.
Should I keep going?
Yeah. Next.
Okay. What's the most annoying part of your job?
Oh, this is so juicy, you guys. Okay. So we have like almost 500,000 followers now across platforms. Oh my goodness. When these brands, with whatever they're doing that's popped up new, that, like, I don't know, they built on AI or something, I get these DMs and they're like, hey, we've built this amazing curriculum. we want to gift you. Okay, this is gold. We want to gift you with trying this curriculum out, right? The curriculum is like a whole year-long curriculum, or it takes like 8 months to go through it. Gift you, and then you have the potential to make this amount of dollars. And sometimes they'll even put like the dollar amount through sharing this blessing with your audience on social media. Oh my goodness. It cracks me up. And, you know, if you're taking this as shade, please do. Don't do that to us. Like, don't do that to us. Like, what I'm going to use my kids as, okay, first of all, let's think through this for a second. Okay. I'm going to use my kids as a guinea pig for a program that I don't even know anything about. And you're going to honor me with like commissions. Like first off, I'm not a commission salesperson, right? Like, I don't love affiliate marketing. I know it's a fine business model for some creators. That's how some creators, even homeschool creators, have built. It's if you're wondering what that is, it's like, you know, when you click on someone's link tree and they have links to like 30 things and it's like use code blank. Well, that content creator is making a commission on each of those sales that are made. And so I don't understand where brands are coming from exactly with that. Like, can you put yourself in my shoes for a hot minute? Like, why would I take all of this time, like I have it in the first place, risk my kids' education with your thing, right? And then, so we often don't reply, or we'll reply with, you know, Christy vets everything really carefully. And we kind of like vet them with, would you want to be considered as possibly being a sponsor for Christy's podcast? So like we kind of reply back with, you got to put some skin in the game here. Like, Christy's not going to be your free salesperson. And so we vet a lot just disappear that way. And honestly, that is a business model, and that's a fine business model, but it's not my business model. And I actually think that it's really devalues content creators, honestly. So I've been pitched some pretty wild things and promised, you know, millions and millions of dollars for being an affiliate for this, that, or the other. And I just find it annoying.
It is annoying. But what's a hill you will die on?
A hill? Oh, besides reading?
Any hill. What's a hill you will die on?
A hill I will die on is till the day that I die, I will be a child advocate. And me being a child advocate in the homeschooling space means my calling is to equip the mother or the primary educator. That is a hill that I will die on, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Because the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Yeah. What's one thing in the homeschool world that seems to work for everybody, but not for you?
The planners. And they're beautiful and they're so tempting. The planners. I don't know why. And Marni, you love the planners.
But I don't use it for my homeschool. I use it for my work. And my life. Yeah.
Yes.
I loved the planners. I had lots of planners. And if I had them here for you to look at today, you'd be like, Denise, you didn't write in this. But I liked the planner. It was cool. So no, I didn't use them either.
I really wish that I could just, you know, you see these beautiful curated videos of like, I'm beginning my day with my matcha tea, and they open up this gorgeous planner that's just the graphic design on it is beautiful. And you're like, I want to be you. And I just can't. I bought them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's something that you've figured out that makes your day-to-day easier?
Structure.
Besides your spreadsheet.
Day-to-day easier. Okay. Yeah. So we kind of touched on it earlier, is from when my kids were very, very little, we did foster, independent play, independent discovery. We set our kids up for that. And so that's always been part of our family culture. So now that my youngest is 10 and the twins are in junior high and I have a high schooler, when I say I'm going to go do a 2-hour writing power hour, they all know what they're going to do. They all have plans in their head on what they're going to be doing in their free time. And we set them up for success. So we get them, subscription boxes, like crates that they wait for to be able to do, or things like that. We have readers. I always make sure that I have a fountain of books that they can read. So we do invest in fostering that. Now, I want to say that with the caveat of one thing is that there are some instances where children are not able to play independently, and that could be a sign of something deeper going on with their learning or a particular diagnosis. I know, for example, PANDAS, that diagnosis, one of the things that doctors actually look for when they're diagnosing it is like separation anxiety and lack of independent play. It's literally part of the diagnosis. Last I checked, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if it's changed since I last looked at how they diagnosed that. But so I also want to tell mamas that if you're banging your head against the wall and this is something you've been working on for years, it's not your fault. Like, it could actually be something going on with your kiddo. And we don't have those issues in our house. So I have been able to foster that with all of my kids. And then I also, on the flip side, I accept a more messier house. So when I'm doing that 2-hour power writing hour, I'm going to come downstairs and it's going to look like we've been robbed. And but that's signs of fun. And Marni, you taught me this early on in the early days of you being in Thrive. Like, how you're so good at reframing. So rather than walking down and my heart going, this is terrible, I literally stop myself. I've been getting so much better at this. And I say, look at all this imaginative play. Look at what you guys, I was able to go right and you guys just had so much fun. And then let's clean up. But really, that's what it is, right? That's what it is. And so, and this is not, one thing that I don't want you to hear is this is not toxic positivity. It's not. We really do need to reframe. We need to reframe things in our life, and it really makes us happier in our day to day when we do that. And so that's a little nugget Marni taught me. When you walk into a messy room, how to reframe it. The big fort that they spent 4 hours building for mom to walk in, and then they feel almost insulted that they used the clean sheets for the fort. And, all that stuff goes through, because especially when you're a young mom, you worked so hard to get all those sheets clean and fold all of them. Your kids aren't old enough to do the folding, do that. Just that little reframe can really change a lot, but also foster more connection, because we want our kids to feel like we delight in them. And one of those ways is to be interested in what they're interested in, even if we're not really interested in it. We fake it. And then all of a sudden we'll find, 6 months down the line that we don't have to fake it anymore. Yeah. At our center, we taught our tutors that, because there were some kids that just weren't that likable. And we would say, you know what? Say these things when they come in. You'd be surprised how they step up to what you speak over them. Like when they walk through the door, say, I'm just really happy to see you today. Oh, I've been looking forward to seeing you all day. And then sure enough, after 6 months, you actually the child becomes more pleasant because they feel more loved, and they actually the tutor ends up looking forward to seeing the kid, right? Yeah.
So true. All right. Last question.
Okay.
The type of messages on social media you never respond to.
Can I pick your brain? Do I need to expand?
No.
Yeah. Will you give me everything that you've learned the hard way over 20 years in business and academics, and will you just hand it to me on a silver platter for free? No, I will not. Okay. Is that mean? I'll probably feel bad about saying that after.
No,
that's not mean.
It's
boundaries. Please don't ask to pick my brain. Please don't. And don't ask anybody that.
Ask to schedule a consultation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's a couple people where I've called their bluff and they have paid. Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what time with me is worth. That's what advice from me is worth. And I have a lot to give, but I'm not going to be giving it for free. Nor should I. That's devaluing myself. So,
yeah. Well, and it's devaluing your intellectual property and what you have to give, right?
Yeah.
We value it. The moms in Thrive value it. They pay to be there because it's worth it. It's way beyond worth it.
We think so. All of us.
So we believe.
You guys, this was the 100th episode. This was so weird. The turning the tables was a little bit fun. And I'm going to be like, did I just talk about myself for a full hour? I'm going to be like face palming this for the next 10 years, this show. But it's what listeners asked for. So here you go. You got it. Any last words from you guys, each of you, celebrating our 100th show?
I'm just excited. I'm excited to celebrate with you. You've worked so hard, and it's so fun to hear, Thrive, how these episodes have helped moms. And so I know it helps other moms out there too, but we just get to hear the stories in Thrive. And so it's been really fun to get to share this day with you.
I just feel so much hope for what the next year and the next years hold. Just looking back on even just the last year, but let's go back through 100 episodes and how you have just continued to kind of respond to expressed need from homeschool moms and offer yourself and what you know and what you care about. And I just have so much hope for the future, for the Christy-Faith brand and everything that you're doing, because even though I know you have already offered and invested volumes and volumes, I feel and know that there's so much more, because you are continuing to learn and you're continuing to listen and you're continuing to research and you're so dedicated to the mission and the calling of what you're doing. And I'm really grateful for that. And I'm hopeful.
Yeah. And as someone who was there at the beginning, when you first showed me kind of secretly at gymnastics, look, my TikTok went viral. I don't know what to do. I was like, girl, this is what you were made for. I just know, like Denise said, there's so much more to come. Like, we're just scratching the surface. And it's cool to be on this journey with you ladies. And I just feel like the community creates lifelong friends. And that's something that you've built, Christy, because you are not that surface level right away, right? You want the real depth and the real emotion and the real hurt and the real struggle. And we acknowledge it and address it together, and we can grow and be stronger together. And we're changing the world one child at a time together. So cool to be a part of and celebrate with you.
Well,
so thanks for bringing us along.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You ladies, you breathe life into me. And I feel like, we all need support systems. And these three ladies here are definitely that for me. They're who I call and cry on a Saturday morning or ask advice from, or what do you think about this? And so I'm so incredibly thankful that we are cheerleaders for each other, and that you are in my inner circle and I can trust you with all of the things. It means a lot. And if ladies listening, if you don't have that inner circle of trusted friends, if you need community, if you feel like no one really gets you, Thrive is closed right now, but go ahead and get on the wait list. And it will open up again in several months, probably in the spring at some point. And we want to be that for you. We're ready and willing and desire to help you and pour into you. It means very much to us. It's not a job that we take lightly at all. And Thrive is closed right now, but if you click the link in the show notes, which I'll put in the show notes, it will put you on the wait list, or you will insert yourself and put yourself on the wait list. And that will guarantee a spot when we reopen Thrive, if that's something for you. But until then, because you can't join, just keep listening along in the ecosystem. And I thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, for coming today. I feel so loved. I feel so nourished. And I'm just beyond blessed by having you ladies in my life. And I hope and pray that I can be that for you too. So I love the three of you. I love you, Mama, listening right now, folding your laundry. I see you. You're driving. You're drinking your coffee right now. We see you and we love you and we care about you. And that's why we do this show. And that's why we pour into homeschool moms. So you have a really great week, Mama. Okay. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.